welcome to Taku Katsu Nights, episode 4 with oh no, I got it. Welcome to the Redo Healer podcast.
No. Redo a hentai.
So, our lovely listeners, I'm suitably attired to speak on this subject. I've got a cloak covering half my face, speaking under secrecy of dark. Redo of H, episode 3. Let's get into it. My fellow co-podcasters have jumped off the train because it got to them in episode 2. But like I predicted, that was the worst it's gonna get, because episode 3 was very tame compared to the first 2. You really only get a lot of the brutalness in his flashback.
Okay, so let me ask the question. How many people had sex with other people in this episode?
Technically.
Oh boy, technically that's if you have to preface it.
Flashback, and like you see more of like what happened in his first go around with Claire, Bullet, and Blade. It's like the intro before you get to Blade and Bullet. Like you get to see like what they specifically did, and more Flare. So there's more abuse of him, but he has a morning with Freya, but you don't see it. It's just he wakes up from a nightmare, and he's like, "Oh, it's a good thing I had this nightmare to remind him of his purpose, of his revenge."
Oh my god. Okay, anyway.
But you don't see that part. Like it's not like in the castle anymore. It's like and he actually just buys a slave.
Good. That's not bad. What's the scale? What's the scale on this? Like, what's the out of 1 to 10 of the Ecchi Scale, which we have posted a link in this? Yeah, what is the scale on this on just this episode? Like
on this episode
as a standalone episode, yes. Oh, she's having struggles giving it a number, guys.
Okay, is it above a 5?
Yes, because
okay. That's all I need to know. All right.
Okay.
So you're saying he gets sexually assaulted?
Yes. Yep.
Multiple times?
Yeah, it's more of his flashback of the 3 men. It's like you really. This is why I don't have so much of a problem with how he takes his revenge, because he got brutalized.
Are you telling me I'm gonna sympathize with this character more?
Yes.
Okay.
She's not telling me that.
I'm saying I'm gonna sympathize more with the idea that the people he's hurting in return pretty much deserve it.
Sure.
Bad people. They're all bad people. Is the thing.
Yeah. Bad people are another bad people. Okay.
There will be no sympathy for
Makes
anyone. That's the.
I can live with that answer.
Yeah. And technically, he's doing a good thing because he bought a slave that is out for revenge on someone else. So
Did he free this slave yet?
No.
Okay.
But he did say, like, because they're like, "Oh, don't buy this slave. She's a reject."
So it's Shield Hero all over again.
Pretty much. But he's like this Ice Wolf girl. This is when you get the Ice Wolf girl.
Oh, the wolf girl.
Is she the sexy animal character?
Yep, she is.
Is she everything I dreamed of?
I think like jump in on like the second half of episode 3 just to see him like interact with her, because he's like, this girl is me and she's got a purpose, and when I can't wait to see the look on her face when she has her revenge. Like that's so bad.
Yes. Again, like it's a good preference that they are just terrible. It's a show about terrible people being terrible, and you pick a side and you kind of just watch the train wreck. Every episode, every minute is gonna be a train wreck. But hey,
exactly.
I mean, the more you
I'm
talk
just
about
gonna
it,
watch The Perfect Girlfriend.
No. The more Vicky talks about it, the more interested I'm getting. So I'm like, dang, I might need to pick it back up.
The plot is so good. Is the problem?
I know the plot. That's our issue. The plot is so good. That is our issue. But the way they handle it is the more issue.
I would give it an 8 just because of the flashback.
It doesn't sound like it's gone down at all. All right, whatever. Anyway,
that's not that bad.
You said it wasn't an 8, and I was pushing it for it to be an 8. So now I'm confused.
No, this episode is an 8.
But this episode,
right. If the whole show, and by your estimation, was an 8 beforehand, and I'm saying it's a 9, almost a 10, and you're saying this episode's an 8, but you're saying this episode's more tame.
Yeah, it's tamer than the first episode for sure.
But it's still an 8.
It's still an 8.
Okay.
Content.
Right. I'm not watching it, so I can only judge you as a jerk, not as an honest.
No, person. That's good. We're not telling you to watch it, guys. Don't watch this show. Don't watch Redo Healer.
Don't watch Redo Healer at 4 a.m. on Japan's ATX. Don't watch it.
Redo Healer. The show is called Redo Healer. Don't watch it.
I'm watching it for you, and I will let you.
You don't know the name.
Yeah. I don't know the name of the show.
Cool.
No.
This anime has.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you for that check-in.
Yep. This has been in the sin bin.
This has been in the sin bin. Episode 3 of Redo Healer podcast.
Yep. I feel like I'm that character in a dark alley with a trench coat, and I open it up like, "You want to see this anime?"
Oh my goodness!
Like, check this
what
out.
What are you buying?
Oh man! One time I was at the mall and I saw 7 Samurai, and from this dude like selling a kiosk, and it was definitely like a bootleg.
Mm.
I bought it, but it was definitely like terrible translation. Just like I'm like,
yup,
crap. This is a mall. I'm supposed to be able to buy good things at the mall.
Real
I bought this on eBay for $5 and got $20 shipping.
For real. You could have found it online for free.
It's also true. Mm-hmm. Samurai 7, though, great anime. Oh, love that show. So I've watched it multiple times. It's that good. Very little ecchi in that now that I think about it.
I think that's just the problem. You don't like ecchi.
No, I like ecchi to a degree. It's when it gets past Tenjo Tenge that I start feeling bad.
Mm.
I mean, yeah, once you, it's good to know you have your thresholds. Yeah,
I do. Let's talk about the ecchi scale that we have developed.
Let's
see here.
Where should from the Dungeon Boonies? Fuck, this title is so long.
I know.
Oh, you mean 例えば Last Dungeon 前の森の少年が乗馬の街で暮らすような物語.
See,
yes.
The Japanese paragraph on its own. Like, Jesus. But yeah, I would. So, our scale that Cori has creative.
We have a tier list that should be posted in the description of the video, and
Twitter. That will be available by the time you're listening to this.
I'll say this. Every time I load it, sometimes the bottom ones, not every time, but a lot of times when the bottom row like just doesn't load the pictures. So I don't know if there's too many pictures or what, but yeah, we'll go over it and then it'll exist and I'll mess with it. Change it every now and again. Add new things that Vicky doesn't think is a 10.
I'm holding 10 off for the top of the top, the bottom of the barrel.
The best of the bunch?
The cream of the crop. Ugh.
Wow. You did not need to say that, but you did say that.
I knew it when I was saying it. I would regret it.
The
dits of the day.
the bits and bops and
bits and bops. Okay, so I'll read off the category names because I'm proud of myself. So number 1, no ecchi, right? That means nothing's going on. There's nothing. And if it's something, you're looking into it too much. Number 2, that ecchi-sode. So it's like there's like one, maybe a little bit more than that, but there's like really one beach episode. One episode where they go out of their way. They're like, hey, that girl's kind of pretty, huh? Look at her clothes. The occasional dude will be in there, but there's not so much of that ecchi male stuff that I can think of anyway. Vicky, go ahead and throw in some if you have some. 3 innocent ecchi. So this is the stuff where ecchi's not the main goal of the show at all, but they're going to throw it in there every now and again. And we'll tell you the examples in a bit. 4 ecchi but wholesome. This I think is one of the hardest categories because it's somewhere between like you're seeing something every week, but not really. It's there, it's not there, it comes and goes, whatever. 5 panty shot of the week, right? So this is basically your bar standard. Like if it's ecchi at all, these are the shows that are the least ecchi of them all. So like they got something. They got like shots, right, of underwear, or they stare at the chest too long. It's just all the time. So panty shot at least once every episode. Then 6 is I see you were wearing less. This is usually the ones where they're in no clothes, but or they're like in states of not duress.
Disrobe.
Yes, they're in less. They're in clothing, but the clothing is getting removed a lot. It's very consistently just like, oh, sorry, I didn't know you were changing, or
title.
Whatever. Yeah. Then there's obscure nudity.
Yes.
We're talking like they're purposely basically naked, but they're not. They're hiding it with a leaf or a little emoji or something
or
like
some clouds.
Yeah, you're here to see them be mostly
hair.
naked at some point. All right, then we got 8 bits and bops.
All right, 8.
Seeing nipples.
The favorite tier, bips and bops.
You're seeing nipples. You're seeing something. There's something going on. Period. Just done. You're gonna see some kind of naked body part in some way, shape, or form. Usually nipples, sometimes other things. Then there's I don't even know how to say it. Sexy ecchi. I spelled it special. So we're talking anything where you see the bits and bops and then there's sex involved at the same time. So there's a correlation, right? There are naked people and they're having sex within the same period of time.
Or implied, which is pretty much implied sex.
Well, implied sex kind of gets, it's basically, implied sex.
Explicit.
But not explicit. And then there's 10, all H, hold H-E. So it's porn. It's porn. There's only 2 categories right
now. Unadulterated.
Right.
Yeah, it's
unapologetic.
Yeah. Just that's it. So I'll since I don't can you guys see the bottom row?
Yeah.
All right. So go ahead and just read off some of the ones you recognize.
I like the mob cycles down there. It's pretty innocent. I don't recall any etch in that.
Yeah.
Yuri on Ice, though.
Uh-huh.
I feel.
Hey, I gave you this to look at earlier. You didn't say anything.
No. I didn't.
I can't remember anything in there that was actually ecchi. Like, there's tons of like dudes skating.
Hold on, there is etch.
Okay.
It's innocent, but it's more like one ecchi. So when Victor first shows up and he's naked in the hot spring.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Like, remember he's like naked, flaunting over Yuri, and he's like, hey.
What? There's an obvious reason why he doesn't remember that.
Right.
Sometimes people block things out.
So that's like this whole time I'm looking, I'm like, Yuri on Ice, there's something, it's not that innocent. Or it's not that, there's no edge.
Okay, so should I put it on 1 or 2 or 3? I can move it right now.
We'll bump it to a 2.
2?
Because it's not it's really just like the first time you meet Victor.
Yeah. Okay. All right, it's at 2 now.
Yeah.
Yeah, another one on the 1 scale is Detective Conan.
Mm-hmm.
Which is just this is just an anime, guys. It's just anime. Basic anime. It's great.
Okay. Quick, since I'm thinking about it, Demon Slayer and Utena still number 1.
Utena's never been 1.
Hey, you were supposed to view this list.
I told
correct you now. Go ahead. Where is it?
These images that are of the Japanese release, it is very difficult to tell what is what.
I've been watching it with its not so great dub on Funimation. I don't recall, but I also kind of don't watch it. I just listen to it in English. So
you would be a 3 tops because
3? Okay, tops.
Of the Rose Bride and pulling the sword out.
But they don't pull it out any it's out of her stomach. It's not
The later episodes get more.
I haven't watched it in a couple of weeks now.
Just
all right, I'll put it on 2 then.
Yeah, because it's like it's nothing. Like it's really just like the one little small bits later on.
Yeah,
that get it, and the implication of like when she gets it's it's like when they had to edit. What's it called? Xenosaga? No, never mind. Forget that.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. So I put Toradora in 2 as well. Anyone have any thoughts about Demon Slayer?
Have not seen it.
You should see it. It's good.
I know it's good, but I'm also in the same
What?
boat.
Me and Patrick.
All I know, okay, for shonen shows, I know they're great. Like, I don't need to watch them.
No!
I know they're amazing, but I should watch them.
So it's not even, I think it's either 13 episodes or 26, but I think it's 13, so it's not like a super long.
I know it's great.
It's great. Honestly, it's a combination of a pretty good story, not like amazing, but really good art direction. Like the
animation.
The animation is just what? This is great. Anyway, it's really good. You should watch it. And if you really like sister characters,
yes, I know. I was gonna. Everyone knows that character. Everyone knows that character.
The only reason I kind of was like 2.
Exactly, and that's the only reason why I will watch it. But let's move on from that fact.
But no, it's not that bad. And since I'm the Grouch, it must not be that bad because it really isn't like sexualized. Like there are cute characters, but that's not like sexualized. Anyway, so all right, Sailor Moon transformation sequences, Death Note. Do we still want to keep Death Note in 2?
Yeah, because Misa gets.
Yeah, that's why I put her. That's the only reason I put her is Misa. I'm like Misa too.
Yeah.
Now, do you watch ReZero, Patrick?
No, I do not. But I know that's good too.
I'm still
but
though.
I mean, since I haven't seen it, I would assume that would just based off of what I've seen, like not actually watching the show. I thought it would be a little bit more on the scale, higher on the scale, based off of those characters. That's just.
I mean, based on the character, you almost think it would be. But I've been watching ReZero since last 2019. And like I can't off the top of my head think of any time where it was like beach episode. Like it was never that bad. Also, it's a story about a guy who getting killed, so it's probably not going to be that bad unless it's a different show higher on the list. So I'm thinking 2 unless someone gives me an alternative.
No, that sounds good.
Okay, and then Orange High School Host Club. I love that show. It's fantastic.
All in love.
Yeah. The twins definitely make it at least a 2.
Yeah,
because those dudes, they pretend real hard.
Yes.
What? It's just brotherly love.
They gotta pretend real hard.
Real hard. Like, hey, brother,
they're close.
If only no one else but us could be in the world, we could love each other forever. Like they pretend real hard.
It's just brothers.
Yeah, that's the point. They're doing a forbidden love angle.
It's implied in anime.
Literally, if we talk to anyone who's not Vicky about this, the first thing they say is twincest. So it's at least a 2.
Hey, there's obviously girls in that school that like to see the brotherly love and affection of.
I mean, I'm just saying it's a 2. It's not a 1. It's a 2. I can't think of any reason to put it higher than 2. Though.
There's a beach episode.
Yeah, 2 done.
That's good.
I just want to confirm with my compadres.
Yes.
My Hero 3, One Punch Man at least a 3. 4 though.
This was a bit hard. We decided 3 for My Hero because of Momo pulling out stuff from her bare body.
From My Hero, yeah. Well, it was Momo and then Lady. What's her name? Not Midnight. Is it Midnight?
Mount Lady?
No. Well, Mount Lady. She definitely makes it at least a 2.
What a name.
Midnight.
Twin Peaks. Anyway,
and-
Midnight. Yeah, is that what her name is?
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever her name is, Midnight.
Out of that
Yeah,
book.
she and what's a gray hair dude's name? Who I
Mineta.
always forget. Mineta. He's
Fuck.
perving out so hard.
Shincho should have that spot in class. 1A.
That'd be all right. I'd be okay with that.
I read a lot of fanfic where that's the reality, and man, those group text fics are the best. Give me life.
Right.
Anyway.
Okay, so One Punch Man, My Hero, Dragon Ball because of Bulma. We got. I'm not gonna put it any higher, even though like we see like child penis at some point because they have to pee on something or someone at some point. in
Yeah,
Dragon
that's
Yes, and this is old school Dragon
Yeah.
Ball, like when Kid Goku, Kid Krillin.
Right. We got Panty Shot, but it's not like every week. We got Master Roshi, who's horn dogging off for a 16-year-old Bulma and a 30-year-old Bulma. Less 30-year-old Bulma, pedophile. Anyway, Hunter x Hunter. 3?
Yeah, yep.
I'm trying to think of anything like extreme,
Hisoka.
but it's
The
I don't
only
know.
problem.
Cowboy Bebop. Is that still 3?
Faye.
I mean,
Yeah.
but again, at the end, this is the innocent ecchi category, so it's like it's
Yeah.
not like it's there, but it's not like it's there.
It's like they just have that sexy character that's, like...
Okay, so let me compare. Faye in Cowboy Bebop compared to oh shoot, I forgot her name already. What's her face from Gurren Lagann? Gurren.
Come on, I should know.
The one girl with the gun in the mech.
Yeah.
The only girl that matters.
Like there are other women, but she's the only one.
Oh, Yoko, that's her name. Yeah,
because they're pretty much the same show when it comes to that stuff. Like the only difference between Faye Valentine and Yoko is Faye Valentine uses her sexuality on purpose.
Hey, use any tool at your disposal.
So what I'm suggesting is that Cowboy Bebop, if we're basing it only on Faye and Gurren Lagann base it only on Yoko, maybe Faye goes up higher because I have Faye from I have Cowboy Bebop at 3, but I have Gurren Lagann at 4, and I don't know why.
4, right?
Mm.
Maybe they're both in the same category, although
Probably, but if anything, I put Cowboy
Yeah.
Bebop over Gurren Lagann. That's what I'm thinking. If anything,
I would
so do we put them both at 4 or 3?
put them both at 3 because it's just the one character.
Yeah. Okay.
Like
So innocent. Because then if I compare it to say one of my other favorite shows, Ayori Yaoshi, which has like one character who's like the annoying American blonde who's loud, but she's also kind of like, hey, look, I'm drunk. Look at my clothes. I'm wearing them, but they're kind of loose, and I'm knocked out. And it's also a harem show. Versus like Cowboy Bebop and Yoko from Gurren Lagann. Because you probably neither of you watch Ayori Yaoshi.
I've seen parts of it, and
Okay, we'll put Ayori Yaoshi higher.
yeah, I think that's definitely goes up onto the ecchi but wholesome. I mean, again, with like the one and with like the hard thing is the first 4 categories are kind of like you're just kind of splitting hairs a little bit, but
Yeah.
It's like it is still like that innocent. Maybe it's there, but it's not. The show isn't playing up upon that. It's when you hit 5, 6, and 7 when you get higher. That's when like okay, this is what this show is. They're clearly putting effort into that.
You get exponentially more space between the levels.
Yeah.
Yes. There's definitely a higher scale when you go on the higher numbers. Once you reach past 5, you're like, yes, this is you're going there.
When we start breaking out the decimals.
Right. Oh, man. Just wait till we get to 7. That's going to be an argument. Anyway. Okay, so Pokemon. Vicky, you had the most cogent argument for putting it at 3. Let's hear it.
So Pokemon is famous for having episodes that get banned in the US or in some way.
Porygon doesn't count as edgy.
Yeah, they had
Yes.
to beat
That's a different type.
Which would put them at that one episode, but James's cross-dressing crossed the point with
every single episode.
yeah, and it was like he had boobs that expanded to the point where they burst, I believe is what happened. But
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Oh man,
Team Rocket, it's innocent ecchi because I think I don't know, but were there panty shots of Misty?
Oh, I don't remember.
I don't know. Putting Pokemon on the number 3 as innocent ecchi is. I'm trying to think. Like, maybe it might just be my nostalgia, but I want to push that down to a 2. But man, I don't know if they were, particular episodes that.
Okay, I will say this. I was gonna put it on 2, but I know that James had a time where he was like big fake movies all over the place. But I will say this: the manga author of the first Pokemon, like his art style, was based on his previous work, which was all hentai.
Oh.
So if you look at now let me be clear. I don't remember exactly how Pokemon as a franchise developed all of that, but like the first series of Pokemon manga, to my understanding, because Pokemon exploded, right? So they created all sorts of stuff.
Yep.
The author, the mangaka, was a hentai artist, so he sexualized the living hell out of every female.
Now that you mention it, I do recall reading some old school Pokemon manga, like when it first came up, and I was reading it and I was thinking to myself, this art style is quite familiar. like guys. I'm not defending myself. I'm just saying, when you watch a certain medium,
sure,
you recognize a certain art style,
sure,
similar to Redo Healer, and any animation on the tier list of 8, 9, and 10. You recognize a certain animation style that you just, this looks familiar, and you have pre-cognitive judgments of what you're already watching based off of your.
Hey, you can't get rich drawing hentai. You gotta go where the money is.
Gotta get them all.
You gotta catch them all.
Gives
right?
a new meaning to Pocket Monster.
Oh,
yeah. Okay. All right. Let's.
Oh, it's terrible.
So okay, so we're gonna keep Pokemon at 3 unless we have a better argument. Otherwise,
it's a 2.
Huh?
I think it's a 2. We could drop it down to 2
because it really was.
You know what? I hate you right now, Vicky. All right, freaking 2.
Let's drop it down to 2.
All right, it's down to 2. All right. It was your argument, and now you got the 2. Whatever. I had it at 2 like 2 weeks ago, but fine.
Right. Well, there's also the sexy trainers that show up, but.
I know all the trainers are all female. There's so many.
And there's Brock with the Jennies and the.
Yeah, if anyone wants to hunt Pokemon, see how many times there's shots, we'll put it at 4. If you give me documentary evidence. All right. So, Jujutsu Kaisen is a new show, so I don't know where a fair place to put it. So we put it at 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I honestly, what is it? 15 episodes in, I can't think of anything that was actually ecchi in it.
The first episode was really just when she was getting so it could be a 2 with that one episode, because that was leading into hentai territory.
Groping is kind of ecchi, but not in the way that I prefer. Okay, so we're saying drop it down to a 2 for now.
Mm-hmm.
All right, it's 2.
Unless
all right,
it's frisky.
Okay. Back to shows that I've never watched. Gravitation.
I think a 4 is all right, given that I haven't finished the anime, but I know there's content. I can't remember.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure there's content.
With Eri and the kid. Like, I need to do a rewatch because it's been so long, and I loved Gravitation. But, the connotations of what happened in it fit.
Yeah, but wholesome. It's actually but wholesome.
Yeah. It's, it's equivalent to Beastars, where, from what I hear, there's a horny bunny. Where it's more like, I feel like this tier is for shows that are about relationships between consenting folk. Because I was gonna say adults, but in Beastars are kids still in high school or something, I think. So yeah, it's it's like
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I mean, if it's again when you get to this category, you're like, when does it hit the bar of okay, we're going to a panic shot every week or something like that? But I guess another show on this category is Chobits as a 4, and I feel like that feels fine to be rated as a 4, right? And then Sword Art Online.
I'm sure there's.
So, I specifically was going to go out of my way to find that one quote that was so funny back in the day before Sword Art Online made like 4 different shows. But
never mind.
Yeah.
Never mind. I didn't say that.
Beastars, I never watched that, but I'm familiar with some of that. Chobits, I definitely think it belongs on 4 because Chi is amazing and she is the inventor of Moe. Fight me. Sword Art Online is at least a 4, and that stuff goes places.
It goes places,
Yeah.
but it's not the main part. Well, I guess it can. Well, I don't know. You can argue that it deserves to be higher, but 4 is also where Gurren Lagann and Trigun. I think Gurren Lagann and Trigun are the good examples of what a good 4 is.
Trigun or Cowboy Bebop?
Cowboy Bebop, my bad.
If I put Trigun on here, I'd be like, that's a 1.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of Trigun. Like Trigun, I'm like, Trigun. I love Trigun too. I've watched that a few times.
Those busty girls?
Who?
I don't remember.
I don't. If you're talking about Grenadier, yes. Grenadier's like a 5 or a 6. Because Grenadier is like, what if we made Trigun, but with girls with humongous boobs, and how they load their guns is having bullets between their cleavage, and then they twirl around, and it flies out, and I put the bullets in my gun, because I watched that stupid show.
That is amazing premise.
It is amazing. It's stupid. So bad. Okay, so real quick, if anyone wants to get into Reki Kawahara's mind about how people in a video game have sex, you look up 16.5 for Sword Art Online, and you can get the infamous, whatever it was, where he said something about glopping.
Wow.
We don't need to know that.
We'll let that be an Easter egg the listeners invest in.
We can't let the audience know. Editor, we're gonna need to cut this one out.
Take it down. Take it down.
Okay, so we're good with Beastars, Chobits, Sword Art Online, all that being 4. We get to 5, which I think 5 is like the sweet spot where if you're watching it and people judge you, you don't feel too bad.
Mm-hmm.
But if they watch it too much, they feel worse. So Black Lagoon, great show, definitely like has characters who you may or may not see the panties of, but they also may murder you if you're looking at their panties.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely at least a 4, but it's not wholesome enough as a show in general. So I don't know, but I put it at 5. Arguments?
Have not seen.
Oh, you should watch it.
No, I think that's a good spot.
Like,
I mean,
Revy,
the main character is
Revy is a main character is Yoko or Faye, but like definitely full of don't give a fuck. Like, I will murder you. Shut up. Like, it's different. So yeah, I don't know. It could be a 3, but I'm gonna leave it at 5 until someone tells me otherwise. Because there's definitely a lot of other characters who are like Revy. So, but it's definitely not a panty show style of show. It's definitely a show about crime. So it's not the same. So yeah, Black Lagoon. It doesn't like flaunt the sexiness of the characters as much as some other shows, but I think it goes for that. It's like, hey, you want to see hot girls kill each other and other men? Yeah. Would you date her and then she'd murder you? Yeah. It's a good show. I like it.
That's a good 5. That's a good 5.
Love Hina. Love Hina is like my general like, hey, do you want to watch a harem anime? Love Hina. Like Tenchi Muyo, Love Hina. Versus your reverse harem anime that's on the bottom of the damn list.
True.
Freaking Orin High School Host Club. But yeah, Love Hina, great show. It's got all the basic archetypes 1990 that have carried over into at least 2005 before Moe became like what it is today. Thank you, Chobits. Yeah, I think it's a solid 5. I think you're going to get panty shots. I think you're going to get the occasional bath scene. You're going to get the occasional, oh, I fell and my hand is on your boob now trope. You've got.
Right.
Go ahead.
No. I was gonna say Love Hina is like, along with any other generic harem anime, it's like that's the 5. Like you kind of like the standard.
It's got the multicolored hair people. You've got the Genki girl who's from a foreign country, kind of, sort of, whatever. You got the underage girl. Please stop doing that. You've got the samurai girl with the black hair. Thank you. That's my favorite. You've got
you got the MILF kind of,
and you've got the MILF, really a MILF, because she's like, oh, you're 20, I'm 23. Woo! Anyway, she's smoking cigarettes. Like, it's, oh my god, that's so funny how they do that. Anyway, and then you've got the girl who's your age. Great.
Yes,
it's great if you're a guy or you just like girls in general. But yeah, Vicky,
I dislike anime.
the lady dislikes harem anime. Is that?
I don't like Moe. I don't do the girly shows. I can't.
But you like Orin High School Host Club.
Loved it.
Hey,
that's the epitome of harem moe.
It is.
That's
Honey represented the Moe, and he was adorable. But the whole show of it, I can't.
Look, I totally agree with you. I'm not a big fan of Moe. As much as I loved watching K-On! That show was both. It was like candy, or maybe even like crack. Like it was like, this is bad for me, but I'm gonna keep watching it.
Sometimes it's just too sweet, and it's like, oh
yeah. All right, so moving on. Lelouch of the Rebellion, Code Geass. Yeah. Tell me that's not a 5.
To be fair, I haven't seen many or much of any of the anime on this tier. And I'm trying to think of a 5 that I have seen.
Okay. Let's come up with an alternate. Patrick, you got a 5 for me off the top of your head? We only have 4 on this tier, so
5.
It's kind of hard. 5s are hard.
Yeah.
5 is very
5's, yeah, it's kind of because you're trying to fit the standard of like what makes like an ecchi. Like, I mean, Tenchi Muyo, again, that's another one.
Harems, I think, naturally start at a 5, and they only get worse, as you will see literally half of the next one.
I would put Nikki Mirai at 5.
Miraniki?
Yeah. Because
yeah, probably.
That's not bad. I would. That might be higher, but
what's the English
5.
I can't remember.
It's higher because of the violence, but none of it is.
That's not what we're doing. We're doing ecchi, so.
Right. Right.
Yeah, she's often in various. Well, not often. She's occasionally in less than enough clothes, but not like every episode.
Yeah.
Because she's a yandere, she does a lot more of the controlling, so it's a little less like male gazy, but it's still there. Like she's like, "Hey, I'm 16 and I'm sexy," and you're like,
"Yeah,
you're creepy. Calm down."
Yeah.
No, I think it's a solid 5. Yeah, it's a good example.
I don't have many, but my choices are accurate, unlike what you guys think in the higher tiers.
Sure.
We'll see when I'll be vindicated in the comments. Leave a comment. Vicky was right.
The higher tier is a wildfire.
Vicky was right.
Hashtag 8 is a base.
Man. So, all right, so I'll keep talking. If you think of another 5, Patrick, go for it. But I put on Ranma, one of my personal favorites. It has in the early first half, I think, first 13 episodes, Ranma, who, if literally you don't know what Ranma half is, when splashed with water turns into a girl, and then hot water turns him back into a boy. And in the first like couple episodes, Rumukyo Takahashi's like, you know what? This boy turns into a girl. Nipples, who cares? So you're going to see some boy-girl nipples for like 3-4 episodes, just all the time. And after that, almost never. I honestly don't remember if it happened after the first season.
They were like, hey.
It's like 136 episodes, so I can't remember everything.
Oh, dang.
Yeah,
They're like,
long.
hey, you went through your nipple budget. You got to cut it out.
Yeah.
No more.
That's pretty much like how it is with like the beach episodes. Like, yeah, here's this one fan service episode, but we can't do
It's
that.
like,
anymore.
PG-13 gets one F-bomb.
So yeah, right.
Yeah, like guys, we got to put this on the show. We got to put this
Now,
on TV, guys.
What makes this not an 8 where it's bits and bobs because there's no sex whatsoever, but also not like lower, is that you've got literally a grandpa who his entire gimmick is that he's a super strong dude who steals panties from random people.
Man, yep.
That's a great character trait.
Hey, honestly, Ranma, if you watch Ranma now and you watch a lot of shows but you've never watched Ranma, you will see so many progenitors of like ecchi and harem and all. You're just like, oh, this is where this came from. Oh, it's such a good show. It goes on forever. It's Rumukyo Takahashi, which in my mind is a good thing, and some people maybe not. But it's great. And yeah. And just in case anyone didn't know, Ukyo Kyonji, best girl. Better than Shampoo. Shut up. Shampoo's great.
But her name is Shampoo.
And also,
that already just...
And just so you all know, Patrick is Pichon. Moving on. So, 6, we put Fire Force. You all watch Fire Force?
No, sadly, but I do know of that character. I do know why this is on the 6.
I want to call her Tatsumaki, but that's not who it is. Whatever. She's the girl who, when she uses her ability, she has a fire tail and fire ears, which is kind of cute. But then she consistently, exclusively wears a jacket over her bra. And so the entire show, whenever she's on screen, expect some way for either one of the characters to touch her boob under her bra, her clothes, all of them, to come off, or her crotch to be in someone's face.
Oh.
So 6.
Yes.
Now, there are other characters who are sexy characters, but she is the epitome of that in the show. To the point where I'm a little bit like, but anyway. Gleipnir. Ooh.
Oh my gosh, Gleipnir is... It's, that one's that's a good, that's a good 6. I mean, it goes places, though.
It does. There's actually a point where, like, basically the main female character gets assaulted by another female character, and then she's like, are you trying to have sex with me? And she's like, yeah. She's like, no. And then the character's like, okay. And then she's done. You're like, that like, that wasn't exactly the conversation, but it was essentially, oh, Jesus Christ. But yeah, that show is trying to make you look at naked girls. So it's at least a 6. So I have not seen High School DxD. I'm assuming Vicky definitely hasn't seen High School DxD.
I've seen of it.
I've only heard of it. I just know it's...
a lot of the shows, like, I'm sure we know of it, and we've definitely seen like pictures or clips of them. But yeah, that's... I mean, a good old Google search will definitely
it's a 6 at least.
Let you know where you stand. Yeah,
it will enlighten you.
Now, the next 3 shows I have definitely watched, and I am only slightly ashamed.
I mean, that last one is definitely
Demon King Daimyo. Okay, so Demon King Daimyo is like if I watched Redo of Healer and it didn't have the things I hate about Redo of Healer. That's what it is. I think the concept is cool, and then they're like, yeah, but the concept, go fuck yourself. Watch the show. There's going to be ecchi. And that's what it is. And there's a famous scene, I would call it famous, that I showed Patrick and Vicky. And who wants to describe it?
I mean, it's a sea cucumber, guys. It's a swimsuit episode
Mm-hmm.
with a sea cucumber in it, and I still can't believe that aired. I mean that they allowed that in that era during the time. So
It's like
yeah, it's
4
pretty
years ago.
good.
As someone that
Yeah.
studied animal science, the inaccuracy of the scene is it for me.
Yeah.
I'd say it's very accurate. Moving on. Moving on. What is that? What is the second to last? What is that next one?
The next one is So You Want to Summon a Demon Lord. It's one of those long titles for no reason. So this show, 100%, don't watch this in front of other people. It's not terrible. Like, it's not bad. Like, if you watch it on other people, they're not going to, like, call the police. But they're just going to be like, really? In public? Come on. We're talking like nipples poking through clothes. And then we're just talking about, like, straight up 2 girls, 1 guy. Just, they're definitely not clothed. One of the characters is like the big boobied elf girl. The other character is like, I forget what she's supposed to be, but she's like she's flat as a board. And it's just like, have a sandwich. And that's like the dynamic of the show. It's about summoning the demon lord, and he kind of gets isekai into this world, but that's about it. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, that name is not the plot of the show. You know what you're going for.
I mean,
you know what you're going for with the show.
Oh, I forgot. So there is like a lolly character, like a true, like, oh god. Anyway, there's like a true lolly character who's also like 8,000 years old.
See what I said when they look like 8, but they're 8,000?
Yeah. But
Yeah,
that's literally a
yeah.
part of the plot in this show, because they summon this demon lord and then they summon a different demon lord, but that different demon lord is the 8,000-year-old 8-year-old.
Wow.
It's not great, and definitely could wear more clothes. And yeah, so don't watch that one. It's not that good anymore. I mean, it's fine. It's not that good. I wouldn't watch it because it's good.
I mean, honestly, when you hit 7, don't watch any shows above 7.
Except for one, because Killer kills.
Or maybe one of them. Yeah, we'll give you one pick.
There's at least 2 shows on here I would definitely say watch above 7. Now, maybe there's 4, but they're for different reasons. So, the last one on 6, right? This is where you can technically get away with calling it decent, unless someone watches the wrong episode. So, 6, Keijo. Vicky, have you watched Keijo?
I've seen 2 or 3 episodes.
I've seen the battles. I've seen the battles, and that's all you need to watch. That's all you need to watch.
Yeah.
This came up during the time I was getting more into sports anime. And I was like, oh,
this is not a sport anime, guys.
It's a sport anime in the sense that they created a stupid sport that wouldn't exist, and then they made an anime.
It's about a sport.
Okay, there you go.
And it is what it is. It's pure fan service.
Oh, it's super fan service.
But it's kind of like those games, the game shows where they're like, here's the water level, knock each other off. And it's just like that, but you do it with your butt.
Okay, so I love talking about this ridiculous show for these 2 reasons. One, as a sports anime, even though it's not a real sport, it's actually pretty good. Like, it's good. It builds up stakes, da-da-da-da. How they make it a fan service show, though, is so stupid and obvious, because it's like, we're going to hit each other with our butts. And then, like, you're like, it's like a 13, 12 episode show. And then, like, 60% of the way, they introduce this one character who uses their nipples.
The nipple.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Specifically.
Yep.
This
So
is why
they hit each other with their butts. Then some of them hit him with their boobs. And then she's like, I'm going to remove your clothes. Oh, I should probably knock this up to 7.
What?
Yeah, this probably. I mean, if it was just a pure sport, like, and like nothing is, like, there's no battle damage, but there's clearly battle damage.
They get battle damage, and then it's like she's using her nipples that are like sparkled, so you can't see them.
I don't know. I think I'd
to rip off the other girl's clothes and then beat them up. It's a 7. I have to make it has to be a 7. It can't be a 6.
I mean, any battle damage. I mean, not any battle, but like lots of battle damage shows definitely probably will increase it up when talking about this scale.
I haven't watched you
Poor
enough
Keijo.
to defend your lower.
It's the end. It's the end. Like the beginning, yeah, it's a 6.
Then
But when you get to the end, you're like, wow.
you're wearing less. The end, I'd say the obscure nudity level is like ongoing. And
Well, that's the problem. Is at the beginning, it's just swimsuits. It's not battle damage. It's not. But then, like the last 4 episodes of a 13 episode show is like they're just covering their boobs for like a whole episode over and over again. That's why I have to move it up to a 7 because it's clearly going there and then it goes there and then it stays there and then it's over.
It's a 6.5.
It's in that. This is when we get in those decimals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I will put it at a 6, but then we're gonna have to talk about 7. So someone else talk about 7. My horse is getting, or my throat's getting dry.
I'll put it at 7. I'll start it. Kill a kill. Hell yeah. This is almost the epitome of obscure nudity. Because you really, one of the teams is literally nudist beach because they're fighting against clothes. So the clothes that they're wearing as it is skimpy. So there's gonna be some bits and bops, but not fully shown.
Right. The main idea of this is as long as there's no bips and bops being shown, then a 7 is like you could press the limit there. You could go pretty far when it comes to the nudity part of it. I mean, I was going to talk about Castle of the Dead, which is also in the 7. I mean, I haven't seen all the episodes, but maybe some people could argue that to be higher, but I don't recall any of that being there.
No, I don't think so. I think it was just fighting in a towel, tons of shower scenes, tons of times where they're doing a lot of body touching, I guess is the
manipulation. Yep, and touching. Yep.
Yeah.
Lots of manipulation.
It's a lot. Oh, it is the tippity top. It's everything but.
Yeah, and that's kind of the end of what I recognize on the list. For 7.
Okay, so the next one is Darling in the Franxx.
Oh, Darling in the Franxx, that's what that was. Yeah.
So that's a 7. I've seen it. Don't watch the ending because it's not worth it. But
yeah, I hear about that too.
I think it's a solid 7. I think it's almost all one character, but it's no, you're gonna want to watch hentai of me levels of hey, look at me. I'm the tsundere.
She was made.
Yeah.
She was made for that. When you create a character, when people create a character, you're just I know what I'm doing.
I'm the sex character. Look.
Yep.
I forgot all of the other important parts of making this a 7. Of course, they get into robots and they get into basically the girl leans over and the guy basically is behind her as if they're gonna doggy style. That's how they pilot their mechs. And there's a lot of sexual tension that is clearly part of the plan. And then there's the lesbian character who really, really wants to be with one of the female characters who doesn't understand. And it's a lot of that going on. There's a lot of sexual tension that's purposeful. And then it's ruined because the show goes weird places and they go into space. Yeah, it's a 7. It's a solid 7.
Yeah.
Food Wars. How you say that in Japanese? Was it Seki something no Soma or something?
Yeah, Seki no Soma. Food Wars. Again, it's the nudity part of it. It's obscure nudity. I mean, it's kind of high on the list, but I feel like a lot of that is just played for the comedy part of it. But yeah, I mean, this is a fun show to watch. But sometimes when you're watching it, you're like, I came here for the food, but they're presenting other things than just the food I want.
So good that women are naked. That's the show.
Yes, that's the show.
Sushi platters?
Oh god.
That would be a great episode, but I don't think they do that.
Dang.
I mean,
It's almost like Sailor Moon transformation style, because I haven't watched the show. I've just looked at images and heard people talk about it. And it's like they eat a food, it's so good that they like go to a cutaway of the person in no amount of clothing enjoying it and moaning.
No, the first episode is, I mean, it's not to spoil anything, but the clothes literally just explode because the food tastes so good.
Oh
Oh,
my
there you go. I didn't know.
And that is hilarious when you watch it, but at the same time, you can't help be, you enjoy other aspects of that as well than just the food.
They cover the
Enjoy
entirety.
entirety.
There you go.
Yes.
Vicky, have you seen No Game No Life?
I want to, but I have not.
Okay. Patrick, you know technically more about the last one here. I can't remember what it's called. I always spell it wrong, like Sekirei.
Yep, Sekirei, yep.
Oh, I know Sekirei.
You know, okay. Vicky, give us Sekirei then.
From what I can remember, because this is one that I kept confusing with Ecchi Tosin.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like the reincarnation. Well, not really, because they're from space or something. From what I remember, there's these aliens from space, and they try to find their one or something that makes them better. So this one dude ends up with a harem of all these alien girls, and there's battle damage, like off the hoo-ha battle damage, like it's everywhere. But that's what I can remember. It was a long time ago when I saw it. Have any?
So
Did I?
we put it. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just wondering if Patrick knew if I missed anything, because I'm like,
No, it's just one of those shows that during the time it's just like Ecchi Tosin, Sekirei, just like it's just those shows.
We saying, is it a 7?
I'd say it's a 7. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't recall any.
Yeah.
So No Game No Life is interesting because it's not always a 7 in the sense of like obscure nudity, but it definitely has like the main female character who's like not the secondary female character who's like the princess or whatever, and she's like well endowed and all that stuff, and she gets bullied and occasionally loses her clothing, but a lot of the focus is between the main two characters, the brother and sister, and the sister is thirsty for her brother, and that should make you uncomfortable.
It's played for the comedy, guys. It's funny. Come on, it's a great.
Yeah, granted, brother is not like into it. He's not incesting it either. They're not twins, but you get my point. But should it be a 7?
I haven't.
I'm thinking maybe I should drop it.
Yeah, I haven't.
It could be a 6. Yeah, I would say probably drop it down to a 6.
Because this show has a lot of lolly energy, but it also has like other energy going too.
Right.
So 6?
Yeah.
I mean, like in my memory, I feel like it was worse, but now that I think about it rationally, like, yeah, but is it a 7 worse?
Time has healed your scars.
No, I just try not to think about lolly relationships with your brother.
No, yeah. I mean, from my memory as well, I would think that this was a better show, but thinking back,
It was an enjoyable show as far as the story goes, but the emptiness of it, probably a 6. I think 7. I'll switch Keijo with No Game No Life. So
Rosario to Vampire might be a good 6.
Rosario, didn't watch it. I did look at that one, but I don't know anything about it.
I know there was fighting, and it might be a 7, because I remember the battles, and then like the harem girls. Basically, any harem is going to be like a 6 or 7.
Oh, you know what? I
When
did.
there's damage.
I agree. I think I did watch Rosario Vampire, but I thought it was boring.
Yeah, it kind of gets boring.
Yeah, because it's got that very like boring plain protagonist.
the music, the intro, and ending are. I mean, just watch that, and then you'll know what the show's about.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pretty.
Okay, so we're getting to our last 3 list. Let's go top down.
The best tier.
We got 3 left, so let's go 10, 9, 8 because we got way more in 8, and it's going to take forever because I haven't seen most of those shows.
That's because that's where me and Patrick hang out. The top tier.
I mean, well, I mean,
Okay.
we could go. Let's go. Let's just keep going from 8, and then let's move up. But we don't need to.
Okay, all right.
We don't need to justify ourselves when talking about these shows. Honestly, you could just say, 8. Here's Ikitosen.
Ikitosen, self-explanatory, battle damage that conveniently only covers up some bits and bops
Until it doesn't.
until it doesn't.
And there are sex scenes, but they're not at the same time.
Yep.
So
Important.
much as I want to argue with Vicky about that, it's an 8.
Very important distinction.
Man, there's some serious nudity going on in that show. So if you're looking for nudity, but not porn.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not a terrible show. I haven't finished watching it because I think they aired it early 2003, and then they broke it up like several series.
I don't know. I know it was later, like 2008 or 7.
It might have been later. I can't remember.
But the very important distinction between this being an 8 instead of a 9 with the sex scenes is the bits and bops aren't sexualized. It's part of the fight. The nudity just happens as a consequence of, fighting so hard your clothes tear off. The sex scenes on their own, serving the plot in some other way. There's no nudity really to be like, ooh, look at this sex scene. It's just teens off doing things.
Teen doing things. Fade to black.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Monster Musume. I think that's what that is.
Oh,
Yeah, Monster Musume, yes.
Oh, yeah. I haven't seen it personally. Have seen of it, and from what I can recall, that's an 8.
Yes.
Okay.
That's an 8. Prison High School.
Just looking that up, I'm like, that's an 8. Or that's at least an 8. Yeah.
I'm not sure if they technically... Well, I don't actually remember seeing Bips and Bops, but I'm pretty sure there are versions that exist, maybe.
It's at least a 7, but it definitely makes it feel like there were 8s. And I remember we looked it up. I can't remember why we said it was an 8, but I definitely put it there. So
Yeah.
It's clearly a 7, but I would argue it to be an 8. Okay, this next one... What?
I do want to watch the next one. I've never seen it. I have it on my list.
I've seen a few first episodes of it. Panty and Stocking. Again, I probably will put it as a 7, but it feels like an 8.
8.
Boy, does it feel like an 8. But there are no. I don't recall there being any bips and bops, but it feels like an 8. It feels like an 8 just based off of the way they go with it, but it's probably a 7 if you want to take it on this list. Yeah,
I heard of it, and I feel like it's not as bad as to be at 8.
Yeah, I don't think it's that.
I can put it down one. I still, like I said, I want to watch this one. I'm intrigued. Heard things. I'm curious.
I too.
We should definitely watch this. We should watch this.
Oh yeah, hey, we could do that for next week if we want.
Yep, next week, Panty and Stocking.
Tune in.
Prison School. Do we want to keep that as 8 for now, or do we want to drop it to 7?
Leave it at 8 because it's
All right.
Other harder stuff. It's not bits and bops alone. It's
a lot of stuff though. Yeah. Okay.
This last one is just no. Let's not.
I've never seen, and I think I only have reports from Patrick. And I have to look up the name. It's called Makin Ki, MAKEN-KI. Or I looked on my anime list. I forget how I figured this.
Makin Ki.
Patrick?
Wait a minute.
You've never.
No. Wait a minute.
I haven't seen it either, but just from the cover art alone.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought this actually looks like another show that I was thinking about.
I mean, if I didn't know any better, yeah, I'd definitely be like, oh, what's this show? Is this 18 plus? What's going on here? It's not that bad, but it's
got a lolly character.
It's targeting the audience very, very clearly.
There's gonna be fan service for sure.
Yeah, this is a fan service show at minimum. But is it bits and bops? I can't remember why I thought it was. But I did research it, so I must have had a good reason.
Yeah, it's to have like a sauna scene is like, oops, oh, I fell into her boobs and they're smothering me. Like, it's probably got like that.
Which again
Right.
is at least a 6, if not a 7.
Yeah.
Anyway, so let's get these last 5 out of the way.
All right. On to the next.
All right, Vicky, read the next
Sexy, ecchi.
Nice.
And from what I can tell, the first one is redo of healer.
You know what? I agree with you. You're right. It is a 9.
It is a 9. That is clearly a 9.
You guys put it at 9 at the first episode is the thing, and I was like, it's an 8. Tops.
It's a 9 at the first episode. What are you talking? We're not going back to this again. You can listen to episode 2.
Episode 1 was an 8 for episode 2. I begrudgingly agreed to a 9.
Why would you be okay? Now I understand why Cori's mad. Why would you begrudgingly put it as a 9? It's clearly a 9.
That was the worst of it, but it wasn't.
Were there bits and bops?
No, I understand it's not a 10, but it's clearly a 9. I understand it's not a 10.
Yeah.
Episode
Were there bits and bops?
But like I said, I don't think episode 2 is always going to be the level it will be at.
Right, but again,
it exists. It exists.
Were there bits and bops? Yes. Was there sex?
Yes.
Were there sex and bits and bops at the same time?
On
Yes.
both episodes. Yes.
Yeah.
1 and 2 is they're on both episodes, and
And
2 out of 3.
3
3 has some too. All right, that's 3 out of 3 for 3.
okay, fine. I will say if you get an internal shot of any scene of, it's gonna be a 9, if not a 10. This does not go to 10 territory, but
We will discuss 10 in a moment. All right,
Yeah.
Goblin Slayer. F Goblin Slayer. It's a 9.
Poor Goblin Slayer.
Peter Grill, and I don't remember what the hell this name is called. What's it called? I didn't type out the rest of the name. It's a longer title. But Peter Grill, he bangs girls all the time. They are literally trying to have his babies. It's a 9. I'm 90%. Yeah, I looked this up again. Yeah, it is that. It's a 9. 10. We only got 2. One is an example, the infamous Bible Black, the anime hentai I've been hearing about since I was 15 years
Yup.
old. I don't know.
Yeah,
He's
that sounds right.
like never sing 2 Girls 1 Cup.
Man, I refuse. Anyway, and then interspecies reviewers, which I made sure I went out of my way to be like, is this still a 10? Is there definitely penetration? Yes.
Oh wow.
There is definitely penetration. There is definitely bits and bops. They're penetrating during sex. It's sexualized on. It's a 10. It's a hentai.
Both of these are 10s, and
Mhm.
it's like we don't need to talk more about that. They're just like we need to justify we need to justify ourselves at the bottom. Yeah, a lot of the arguments and a lot of discussion is at the bottom of the list where it's like, oh yeah, does this belong here? But when you hit 10, you're like, yeah, you can just say this is just 10.
Yeah. I mean, the delineation, because we're going to argue, obviously, between 7, 8, and 9, and maybe 10, is there penetration for sex? Yes. Versus, is there genitalia of some kind? And no penetration but sex. And then, is there just, hey, look, I'm naked? And
I'd
then
say
7's under that.
or like it's like you watch it in the middle of the night with tissues and lotion by your bedside. Like you're prepared to be like you prepare to watch.
No,
That's not fair. That's not fair because
How's that
Vicky,
Because
that's
the
tier
intent
11.
of the
No.
watcher-
That's 11 out of 10 ecchi. That's like above your own animation. Like what the animation is doing to you is that's the next level. That's 11 out of 10
I mean-
ecchi scale.
It's high.
Look.
It's
We talked about lollies, okay? Do we want to really talk about whether or not someone's got lotion in their hand and a tissue and they're watching freaking My Little Pony? No, I really don't want to talk about
That is 11 on 10 for them.
That's the intention. That's the intention of the watcher.
like you put it on and you like have an it's like playing a yaoi game.
Okay,
Like,
but then I'm going to go back and say Tenjo Tenge again then.
for
I'm going to
10
go back and look at High School of the Dead and be like, yeah, there's definitely somebody who's like, I'm going to pull this up because this is great.
Well, no, I mean like Because anyone could do that with any of these.
That's why I'm saying it's not fair. That's why I'm saying it's not
Exactly.
Okay, I suppose.
I could go down to 4 and
fair.
Vicky, I could go down to 1 and be like, yep, people are doing that to ones.
Look, I love Princess Mononoke, okay? Look, somebody is jerking it to Yuri on Ice. That's all
I was
I'm
about to
saying.
say you're on ice.
Hey.
In fact, we know someone who is.
I'm just saying. I'm saying, okay, 10s are you walk into an adult store and they give you it in a paper bag.
Sure.
Like,
Yeah,
Hey,
we don't
sure.
we don't talk. We don't need to talk about it. It's a 10. Like there's a clear.
I still think that
Yep.
you could see that happening with Redo Healer. 'Cause
no.
there's literally sex in it. It's not it's softcore, but again, we're gonna delineate 10 as you actually see the act happening. There's insertion, there's the whole behavior.
As also what I like to call specifically in this context, if you see any sense of decensoring, of censoring. Oh geez, Freudian slip. If you see any censoring,
Yeah, I mean,
then that's a 10. Like
if you
flat
got a
out.
censor, it's at least
If you had to censor it, it's a
a
10.
9.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to call it a 10, but I watched the censored version of Redo Healer, so I don't want to, upset the.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm not going off of my rules. I'm going off of their rules. I'm going off of Japan's rules. That's what they set
Japan
the
rules.
bar, is the censorship. If there is any of that pixelization, then that's what's up. And that
That's
deserves to be a 10.
Yeah. When you see the thinnest of a thin black line.
Look, all I saw was clouds, and then I watched a fireplace for 30 seconons.
That's so funny because
And boy, what a 30 seconds that was.
Yep. Yeah, I kind of want to watch the censored version just to see like what they cut out because
You can high dive.
yeah, I know. Well,
True.
yeah.
Get 2 screens.
Get 2 screens, and Vicky, not my words, but get the lotion, get the tissue out. I mean, whatever. I didn't say this. I didn't say that.
Tell me which one changes your intent. That's all I'm saying.
Not- I'm research. Listen, I'm watching it for the plot and for the audience, and for you
There
guys
you are.
updated on its status of where it lands on the Ecchi Scale
Thank you for your sacrifice.
and how good the plot is. It's so good.
You know what? I'll be super mad if you like at the end you're like, this is as good as Death Note.
Oh my god.
Because then I might actually like, if you honestly told me this is like top of all time, I'd be like, shit, well, I have to watch it.
Top
But if you
tier.
told me this was like as good as say Shield
Manga.
Hero, which I enjoyed quite a bit, I'll be like, pass.
If I'm
I
like,
like Shield Hero a lot, but I'm not gonna watch it with this. Mm-mm.
if I'm like, it's like Death Note.
If you told me like it was as good as like Death Note or Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood,
Man, that's I don't know
Yeah.
if
high bar. I really don't like the character. I really don't like how they.
you're not meant to.
Yeah, well, guess
You're
what?
meant,
I'm not
this-
going to watch it because I don't like it. There you go.
but you
All
like
right, we're
it is cool.
we're going backwards, guys. We're not gonna do another retake on this. We're not gonna redo another retake on this show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's heal. Hashtag heal, guys. Hashtag heal. That is hashtag heal, guys.
That does remind me, he does save a town from well water poisoning by poisoning himself, healing himself, and creating antibodies, and then he does sell it. But he
what
saves
a hero.
If he doesn't ejaculate into people's mouths, then I guess we're good. 'Cause that's
Vicky,
honestly what
I have
say,
one question
like,
for you guys. How
Yeah.
when does it become, how many, what is that thing? It's like, what is the point where it's like, if he saves this many people, but he has to do something, bad, what is the limit to that?
Where-
But
the tip scale.
yeah, what is the scale in that? he saves the town, but he has to do something unspeakable towards a lady.
I think it's the other way around. Like, how many people does he have to save to make up for his revenge actions?
Are you trying to tell me that he needs Jesus? Because that's what I'm hearing in my head right now.
Well, of course, they all need Jesus. That whole show needs Jesus.
Yeah.
Here's the problem I run into with that question, because it's not a terrible question. It's like, do you forgive someone for what they've done, no matter what happened to them? Or is it conditional, right? Do you forgive people just because you're going to forgive them? Jesus. Mm-hmm. Or do you say, well, you have to atone for your sins? And I think that he's not atoning for his sins. He's getting revenge on them by being bad. And I'm like, that's not okay.
But he's not being bad to innocent people.
Which is good.
That's good to hear. That's great. Yeah. Okay.
Good to know that he did not ejaculate his pure...
Oh, no. He used blood.
Oh, cool. Body fluids.
It was all scientific. Don't worry.
Oh, okay.
And medical. But to end it...
Yeah.
It's kind of like he's bad, the heroes are bad. Yep. They're no good, like Bill Cosby.
I was gonna say that. That was what I was trying to refer to.
Yeah, there is no amount of good that can be done to erase the horror, you know. So it's like they're all terrible. You won't want for any of them. You just want to watch, you know, revenge be met to terrible people.
I'll tell you right now, I'm not trying to watch Old Boy again.
Oh, I would watch it again.
It's a show. It's a good movie. But I'm not trying that hard to watch it again because I don't need to see a dude fall in love with his daughter again. That's just...
I would watch it with people who haven't seen it the first time and then stare at their eyes during certain scenes.
Yeah.
Because I would be like, yes. Slowly turn your head and just like, yes.
That's the kind of stuff where I drop really obvious hints that they don't understand. Like, hey, pretty cute, huh? You think he's into her?
See, that's evil. You're just like this character. But you don't have the revenge on the aspect. Yeah. You're just being evil.
How dare you judge them?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Man. No, it's a really cool premise. I just wish they did it. They didn't have to use that part of it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but yeah. So next week, what are we watching?
I think we committed to Panty and Garterbelt.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
And then we should definitely look into any other shows. I mean, we're like a month into the new season, so if there's anything else, I mean, there's tons of recommendations out there for like, oh, this is a good show. Yeah. But if there's anything else, otherwise, yeah, we can definitely throw in some old ones. I'm always game for some of my favorites.
I just want y'all to see cute High Earth Defense Club love.
That'll be
as long as it's not love.
That sounds great. Mm-hmm. We'll do that for the next. But yeah, let's do Panty and Stocking.
All right, Panty and Stocking this week, and then the week after that, what are we doing?
Cute High Earth Defense Club love.
All right, that sounds like something I would not watch normally, but cool.
You like little girl animes?
Oh, this one. Yeah.
It's just magical boy anime.
This is clearly a Vicky pick. So
yeah. Hey.
Yeah. This is for all the ladies out there.
For my Fujoshi and Fudanshi. Fujoshi Tachi, Fudanshi Tachi. Join me. Well, it's not even that bad. It's really not. I think it falls at like 4.
That's good.
That's cool.
That's acceptable.
It's like a 3 or 4.
No, I got no problem. Honestly,
yeah, that sounds great.
Someone can find a super like reverse harem that's like basically everything that we see in regular harems where it's like overly focused on girls, and if good, I will watch it. I just don't think it exists. But if it does, I'll watch it. Give it to me. All right. So I think we're good to go, yeah?
Yep. So next week we're going to do Panty and Stocking. Tune in next time for that. And I know this has gone longer than we expected it to be. But hey, that's the beauty of the podcast. You can just skip to which sections what you want to hear. But yep. Thanks for listening, guys. And as your host, Patrick, we're signing off.
Bye from Vicky.
This is Cori, the grumpy old man. I love Ranma.
I love no, I can't say that.
Your love is strong enough.
I'm not strong enough to say it.
I love Ramune. It's a good drink, y'all.
True. Alright guys. See you next time.